IT expert Gabe Belanger, president of Computer Geeks On Call. Why can't I just call you when I have a problem?
Yes, a lot of people do call when they have a problem. In the work environment, everything seems fine for weeks or months. You try to run a program one day and it doesn't work. So it's kind of like playing Russian roulette, because it might be a fix that we can do in 5 minutes to get you back up and running, depending on what the problem is. But it could also be a catastrophic failure where your, for example, data that is stored on your server computer is now damaged and corrupt, and it's destroyed. These scenarios do happen. We see it. I've seen it for more than a decade. Week over week, we're always finding people who have issues with data loss. So that's why I don't recommend you just call when you have an emergency. Yes, it's true. Sometimes you can be lucky and it's going to be an hour and everything is fixed and everything is working perfect and there's no problem. And you know what? You've only lost an hour of time. In other scenarios, your whole company could be down and you might have lost 6 months worth of data. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's okay because I have a backup. When we first got our server set up, the backup was set up, it was plugged in, and it's working. But you know what? A lot of times these backups are not working for a variety of reasons. I'll give you one example of a backup just being corrupted. Just because your backup software runs every day, day over day for years, it doesn't mean you can actually use that backup to restore your data. How do I know that? Because I've experienced it many times. There's another scenario where the backup hard drive is plugged in to the server and it should be running, but the power is not on the backup drive. I've seen that many times. Sometimes there's a power outage. Everyone makes sure the server is turned on, but they don't go and look and make sure the backup drive is turned on. So those are a couple of reasons why you might want to not just wait till there's a big problem. I can give you another really weird scenario as well, which I've run into at least 3 times, and that is where people buy a server, they let it run for 5 years, they don't ever look at it, and it runs out of hard drive space. Now, I'm pretty sure that's an easy issue for anybody to identify and figure out. Hey, my server is running out of space. It can't keep running like this. Eventually, when you do that with a server, what happens is the databases are filling up and overwriting, and they get to the point where you're actually going to lose Active Directory information. So what that means is your whole server operating system will crash, and it can't be fixed unless you have a functional backup. So most of the time, the clients that I've ever seen, they don't have a backup because they're not even aware if their server is running out of space or not. So I've been in the scenario many times where I have to go to their most recent backup, and that most recent backup may be a year old. So then we're in a scenario where we're doing data recovery, and that data recovery is quite expensive and it's not guaranteed. So just calling when you have a problem can be like Russian roulette. There's many pitfalls, so I don't recommend you use that method. The other obvious thing to say is that it's a very reactive way to deal with business, and people are going to look at your company and want to see reliability. They want to see that you're steady. They want to see you didn't lose their information.
Thanks, Gabe. If you have questions or would like more information, please email Gabe at mycgoc.com.